One of the impacts of the fact that our world is so interconnected is the fact that media has the opportunity to go global, and that the representations that are made within the media are more important than ever. So let's talk first about media globalization. Globalization refers to the interconnection of structural and cultural forces that aid in the spread of ideas and technologies all over the world. And these ideas and technologies influence the social and economic organization of societies all over the world. And this can often lead to media imperialism. Media imperialism refers to the domination of other countries through exported media and the values and ideologies that they contain. Media-fueled cultural imperialism is often critiqued because of the concern that the imported cultural images and values will end up destroying or forever changing the cultural identity of the countries that are being, quote, occupied by this foreign media. The cultural values of more developed Western and Northern countries, read the United States, flow via these media messages to the global East and South. And this can have a really detrimental impact on the cultures that are consuming all of this media that is so different from their own cultural values and representations. And that does bring us to the idea of media and representation. When it comes to representation and diversity within the media, there is a significant lack of representation and diversity within especially media coming out of the United States. And this is changing as of recent years, but we still have a long way to go. Scholars have raised concerns about the number of characters from minority groups on television relative to that group's percentage within the population. And perhaps even more concerning is the types of characters that actors from minority groups play and the types of shows in which they appear. Oftentimes, these actors from minority groups end up playing very stereotypical roles that are not representative of that group of people. And the people that we see featured in media messages often serve as role models for the many people that view those messages. And this brings us to the idea of social learning theory. Social learning theory claims that media portrayals influence our development of schemata and scripts. And this is especially true in children about different groups of people. So, as I was saying earlier, studies show that there is less diversity in mediated messages relative to the population as a whole. And the images and messages in the media contain certain themes that rely on stereotypes and further reduce the complexity of our society. And this lack of representation really affects what we think and how we view the world. So, individuals who come from minority groups might not see themselves reflected in the media that they are consuming, which could lead them to believe that maybe they aren't as important in our society as they truly are. Whereas we see when there's an increase in representation that these individuals can see themselves through the characters that are on the screen. And so some people who study and or work in the media view media diversity as a means of expanding public dialogue, creating a more informed citizenry, and enhancing our democracy through positive social change. As we've learned already, media can have a big impact on our lives, and this is just one of the ways that that can happen.